Hello everybody, welcome to this week's video. It is that time of the week again, and I hope I'm speaking up loudly enough. It's kind of late, and I had a really long day today. By the way, I hope you guys all had a really happy Easter with your families and friends and everything. Today was a full day. Today was a very busy, full day today. Plus, it was my grandmother's birthday today. So a bunch of family and friends came over and we had a really good time. We got to celebrate my grandmother and just spend time with everyone. It was really nice. So we had a really good Easter. But it was a little bit crazy and I am super tired. But I am glad to be here with you guys, and I really was looking forward. I've really been looking forward actually all week to this video and this topic. You know, I've been spending time just thinking and meditating on what I'm supposed to share, what needs to come through this week, and what I'm supposed to share. And it's really funny to me how things sort of have just been lining up to the way that they're supposed to be. I'm going to be giving you guys a few examples of what's been going on. It's really been crazy, but anyway, sorry, spaced out. I have my cheat sheets, and I have a lot of things I want to touch on. So let me get to it. And I wanted to talk to you guys about, well, you know, I've mentioned Veronica Cresta before. She has been just a beautiful healing presence in my life the last few years. She has been just, I don't know, maybe one day I'll get to meet her, but she is just been such a blessing to me, to my life, and I know countless other people out there who watch her channel. But right after I had made the decision to say yes to doing this vlog and coming out in a way, being honest about who I am and what I'm going through and everything that's been happening, it was interesting to me because she came out with a vlog, or I'm sorry, a video, and in the title of this specific video was how to vlog, or how to use vlogging as a transformational tool. And the fact that that video came along just as I was deciding to do this vlog did not seem like a coincidence to me. I was very thankful for it. I sat down, I wrote notes, I was, you know, listening really intently to what she was saying. There was one thing that she said that really, really stood out to me. She said, if there's anything that you want to master in your life, if there's something, a mountain that you need to conquer, if there's something you want to master in life, the key to mastering it is to teach it. Now, that concept is new to me, and I've never thought of that, of, you know, teaching something to master it. And I always thought you just had to sit and study it and, you know, figure it out. But so that really stuck with me, and I began my vlog. And one of the things that she said was, that I thought was really interesting, was as you're doing this, as you are teaching the things that you want to master in life, whatever it is, whatever topic it is, she said what you will notice is that you will find opportunities or invitations will start to arise in your daily life for you to master that thing. So let's say, like, okay, for example, I'm talking about what? Losing weight. I'm talking about getting healthy. I'm talking about transforming my life into the person I know I am inside, the person I know I was destined to become, into that person. And, you know, there's a lot of issues, deep, deep issues surrounding a lot of when someone's carrying a lot of weight, and I speak for myself, as a person who's carrying a lot of physical weight on my body, a lot of extra pounds. That, and I mentioned this before, that is just what I've realized is just an outward manifestation of what is really going on the inside. All the weight, all the stresses, all the judgments on yourself, all the judgments from other people, all the deep wounded places that you don't talk about, you don't share with people, you keep to yourself. So because of those things, the weight packs up and packs up, because the more you don't deal with it, the more you run from yourself, the more you run from your reality, the worse it becomes. And for me, I just continue to balloon up and get bigger and bigger and bigger. But anyway, one of the things that I wanted to mention that she said was, you will find these invitations, these opportunities coming to you, saying, okay, Raina, you've been talking about this. Well, here is the opportunity for you to overcome this challenge. So let me tell you what's been happening this last week. I was speaking with a friend of mine earlier in the week, and he and I were chatting online, and we were having a really good conversation. And at one point in the conversation, I started talking about weight, because this is kind of what's going on in my life right now with the vlog and everything that's happening. And I just started to speak with him about, what it's like to be that person, to be the person who's overweight, and to have people judge you constantly. Because and I told him, I said, one of the things that I've always that I have found true, being a very overweight person, is that a lot of people have an opinion about it, whether they be fit themselves or whether they be overweight. Whoever it is, family, friends, strangers, complete strangers, feel that they have some sort of say in your body. They have some sort of say over your life, because whether they're coming from a place of genuinely trying to help you, or they're coming from a place of judgment and spite and being mean or cruel. People have an opinion. So we were talking about this, and I started to tell him a story. And I hadn't thought about this in so long, but I'll share the story with you guys. So what happened a few years ago, there was one year that I decided, this is it, I'm losing weight. One of my many attempts to lose weight. I told my sister, my family that year, I said, you know what I want for my birthday this year? I want just a gym membership. That's all I want. I don't want anything else. I want a gym membership. That's it. So my birthday comes, and my sister gets me a year's membership to a gym that was not too far from my house, less than a mile. So my sister and I had conversations about it, and we said, oh, we're going to work out together. It's going to be great, all this stuff. So that's what we did. And we had gotten into a routine of working out. It was like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, whatever it was at the time. And our reward for ourselves at the end of a hard workout was to go to the locker room, get ourselves together, showered, whatever, and then go into the pool or go into the hot tub for a while before we went home, or before we left. So this one particular night, we were there. Had a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but I want to continue with my story. So anyway, my sister and I, this one particular night, we had gone to the gym. We worked out. We did our thing. We did our routine. Went to the pool, the hot tub, as a reward for our hard work. And I was already really paranoid. I've always had because I've never been thin. I've never been a super healthy, fit person, ever. Maybe when I was 5, I could actually see my ribs. It's been a minute. Anyway, so I already had really deep body issues. I already felt very paranoid about anybody looking at me at the gym, let alone in the pool, let alone in the hot tub. But this particular night, I was feeling, I don't know, just kind of extra vulnerable or whatever. And I was getting into the pool, and people were going to see me, and people were going to see my legs, and people were going to see my arms. But, I kind of just got the courage and said, whatever, I'm just going to do it anyway. So my sister and I, that's what we did. Anyway, so when it was time to go, I went to get out of the pool, and I had a towel wrapped around me, and I walked out, and I was, trying. I had a method. I had a system, because I could get my towel. I had it placed a certain way so I could wrap it around me, so I can get it around me as fast as possible, so that nobody, or if they did see me, they would just see a brief glimpse, and that would be that. Because I was terrified for anybody to say anything to me or to judge me, because that had been through my life, my entire life. People have, not everyone, but I've had some serious, some moments with people where people were just really cruel to me. about weight. So anyway, so we get out of the pool and we're going to the locker room and just kind of in our own little mode. And all of a sudden, just as I'm about to go into the locker room, I turn, and there's this lady, like literally right behind me, maybe 2 feet right behind me, and I thought she was just trying to get past so she could go into the locker room. And so I kind of moved over to the side to get out of her way, and she stopped, and she just looked at me. And she stared at my sister and I, and she looked at me and with judgment in her eyes, and like just a hatred or just to be spiteful. She looked at me and she said this. She goes, "You are not going to lose all of that sitting at the end of the pool." And she walked away. I was stunned into silence. I literally did not know what to say. I was like, what? Did that just happen? And my sister and I just kind of looked at each other. But here's the thing, I couldn't speak up for myself back then because I hadn't found my own voice yet. And in that moment, I bought into everything that she just said to me. I bought into the way she said it. I bought into her judgment. I bought into the judgment of all the judgments of people prior to her and in my life, my own judgments. I bought into all of it in that moment. And in that moment, it solidified in my mind my lack of value. It solidified to me that I was always going to be fat. It solidified to me that people were judging me and people were watching me and people were thinking all the worst things of me that I thought that they were thinking of me. So I ended up leaving, and because of that moment, because that happened, my sister and I never went back to that gym ever again. In fact, I believe on our way out I spoke with one of the people that worked there, but what could they do? She was gone. Anyway, needless to say, it was very painful. So I'm telling my friend this story, and I'm all those emotions, all those judgments, it was like I was reliving it again. It was like I was there again, and she was telling me this again. And I didn't mention it to my friend at the time that I was speaking with, but I was feeling all this emotion just bubble up again. And of course, he had a very strong reaction to it and was like, I can't believe this woman. She was spiteful, all this and that. So whatever, that's done. 2 days later, fast forward to 2 days later, I'm sitting at home, and one of my cousins stops by, and she says, I've been going to work out, and I want to talk to you, I've been going over to such and such gym, and I wanted to ask you if you were interested in coming with me because I want someone, to work out with me because I don't like going by myself and all of this. And at that moment, I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, I've been actually wanting to get a gym membership because the way I've been working out has just been in my own house or, walking or whatever I've been doing here locally or, just by myself. But I didn't think anything of it. And I thought, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I would actually like to do that. I'm totally open to that. Sounds good. So she leaves, and I realize, and it comes to me like a blinding flash, like boom, right in my face. Here's your invitation. Here's your invitation. It is happening exactly like Veronica said it would happen. It is happening exactly like she said it would happen. When you open yourself up to change, when you start to put it out there, start to speak your truth, when you start to want to teach or start to teach the thing that you're trying to master, it's an invitation opportunity will arise for you to master it, for you to conquer that mountain, for you to face your giant or giants, whatever that is. And the gym has always been a source of deep anxiety for me, deep judgment, deep pain, just always has. Real just intimidation and fear surrounding going to a gym of any sort. So I knew that was my invitation. And I just kind of stewed on that for a while and let myself marinate, really kind of overwhelmed by it all because I knew that it was a direct invitation from Source to me. Okay, here's your mountain. here's the thing you've been talking about. Now, let's do this. So I decided I was going to call this gym. So I got the number. This is the next day or the day after. I got the number. I called him. I spoke to him about coming in, got all the information, and I am going to be going in there this week. Probably, well, not tomorrow. I've got some things tomorrow, but this week anyway. I'm going to be going in there, and I'm going to go ahead and join this gym. And ever since I said yes to going and becoming a part of this gym, or getting a membership to this gym, and saying yes to that invitation, I cannot tell you the sense of joy that has just come into my heart. I feel so in alignment with where I'm supposed to be. I feel so like a big resounding yes. This is the next step for you. This is the next step to overcome this mountain. And you know, situations and invitations will come up in our lives, whatever that means for you. Maybe for somebody it's you're shy and you don't know how to speak to people. Maybe for someone else it's you want to put yourself out there more. You want to, you know, master, you know, doing art, or I don't know, whatever that is for you. When really try and tune in and listen to when those invitations come up. The thing that will stop, and that has stopped me every time from any previous invitations, because I think for a long time I wasn't even aware that there were invitations, but the thing that always stopped me was fear. Fear of being judged, fear of this, fear of that. And this time it's different. There has been a shift that has begun in me that is snowballing. And I know that I am changing from the inside out. And I feel like this giant, this huge, seemingly huge, insurmountable, larger than life, has been with me since I was a child of a mountain. This mountain of weight loss, this mountain of going to the gym and being judged has been with me for years. And I feel like it's staring me in the face, and it's waiting to see what I'm made of. But I now, since I have said yes to doing it, and I trust and believe I will be on video talking all about it when it all goes down. But I am staring at those judgments that I have put on myself before, the judgments from other people, whatever it is that I've taken onto myself and believed about myself. I am staring that right in the face, and I am about to show that giant exactly what I am made of. This is a new place for me to be in. This is complete new territory for me. But I am excited, and to say I'm not a little anxious would be a lie. I'm a little bit anxious. But I'm just going to keep putting one foot in front of the other. I have been feeling so good in my body lately. I've been feeling so just more me, not numb to myself, because I've been eating better. I've been taking care of myself. And some days that means being an animal and working out and going for it and sweating and, you know, all of that. Some days that just means being a little more gentle with myself, eating right, taking good care of myself. You know, this last week is a really, really tough week for me. I had to put my beautiful Foxy down. She was an older dog and she got really sick kind of suddenly, and some things came up with her health that just weren't good. And so I had to make the decision that it was time for her to, you know, be at peace. And so, you know, this week it was a real challenge for me in terms of stress, in terms of loss, in terms of sadness. And, you know, it was interesting because at one point I was really aware of, there was like not the day that we went to put her down at the vet, but the next day, I think it was, I noticed that there was, because of the shift that has begun in me, I noticed that I felt like I was awake, and I was almost watching myself. It was interesting. I went to the fridge at one point, where my old habit would have instantly been to run to food for comfort, run to food to take care of myself, run to food for a false sense of love, run to food because it was what I knew. It was my go-to, my habit, my drug, my numbing agent. But whereas before I would have instantly run to food, I caught myself in a moment where I had gone to the kitchen. I was hungry. I went to go eat something, and I was feeling very, very sad, very, very I was just in a lot of pain, and I was really sad about Foxy. And those are the times of challenge. Those are the times when you really see what's going on in your life, when you really can become awake to what you're doing, when you stop and look at the choices you're making in times of stress, the choices that you're making in times of loss, when there are things that are out of your control. What choices am I making? So anyway, I was in the kitchen, I was getting food, and I went to sit down, and I was on my laptop doing some things. And in the middle of feeling that sadness and just the depth of loss for my sweet girl, I realized that I was taking care of myself. It was a revelation. I was sitting there, and instead of reaching for a candy bar or reaching for some potato chips or reaching for some horrible thing that was just going to poison me, I was awake to what I was doing. I was awake to the choices I was making in that moment. I was awake to grabbing the right foods. And I had actually grabbed like a half of a grapefruit, and I got some water, and I was just sitting there, and I was just eating it, and I was drinking my water. And I just had a moment of gratitude. I said, oh my God, instead of turning to food to comfort myself, I'm turning to self-care. Instead of turning to food to somehow fill some void on the inside of me, instead of doing that, I was turning to self-care. I was being good to myself. I was nourishing myself. I was eating a piece of fruit that was good for me. I was drinking water. I was being good to me. And it felt so good. It felt so good. I felt amazing, and I had this sense of pride. I felt just so like yes in that moment. But it was so tender, and it was so gentle, and it was exactly, I can't even tell. I can't even put into words how awesome it was. So I know that things are shifting, and this is the next step. This is the next step. Facing the gym, facing this giant in my life, or this thing that has always been a giant in my life. And it's just amazing to me. It's amazing to me how it's all happening. Let me refer to my notes really quick because I have another point that I want to make, and I want to make sure that I'm in order here. I'm just excited for what's to come, and another part of self-care for me is I've also made the decision that I'm going to be calling the doctor and making an appointment as soon as possible, as soon as they can see me, and having a complete physical. And maybe the doctor, maybe they'll agree to me filming them maybe a little bit and talking about some stuff. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm taking that step so that I can be under a doctor's supervision, so that while I'm on this journey, while I'm losing this weight, that it can be documented, and it can be, from a doctor's, under his care. I just think that's important, and I'm really feeling that resonate within me, that that's something I need to do. So I'm going to be doing that, and like I said, when I go to this gym and I start my routine, and I can't even wait. I just can't. I'm excited about it, which I've never been able to say I was excited about going to the gym. But I am. I'm very excited about it. One of the other things that I wanted to mention too was, I think the thing for me was, like I said, I noticed that things begin to shift when I started to say yes. When I said yes to what I was being invited to do. And, the yes doesn't have to be this huge gesture. And I think for myself, for a lot of years, I felt like it had to be this, I'm going to exercise 7 days a week, and I'm going to exercise for 5 hours, just this over-the-top thing. But I'm realizing that yes can be something simple as eating a piece of fruit. That yes can be something as simple as taking a walk for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. As long as it's being good to you, taking good care of you, that's your yes step. For whatever it is, whatever challenge, whatever giant it is in your life that's asking to be conquered, that's challenging you to rise up to the challenge, rise up to meet it. Whatever that challenge is, I just want you to know that you can say yes, and through the fear, through your self-judgments, through all of that stuff, you can say yes to yourself in the smallest ways. But when you say yes to yourself, even in the smallest ways, things start to change. Things start to change for the better, and it becomes easier to say yes the next time. And it becomes easier to say yes the time after that. It's really about opening yourself up to the idea that things can be better, that things will be better, that you do have a destiny, that you do have a purpose, that there is a reason you are here on this planet. There is a reason I am here on this planet. We all have our own gifts. We all have our own set of talents and gifts to offer, to share with the world as a whole, to share with people. And we all have a purpose. And if there's something a challenge in your life that you want to face, you are brave enough to say yes, and you are brave enough to rise up to it. And I want you to know that. I want you to know that anything can happen in your life if you believe that it can happen. All things are possible. All things are possible if you believe. All things are possible. God, that's good. I love that. There's a quote that I wanted to read from Veronica. Well, not from Veronica, it's actually from Rumi. But the first time I ever heard it was from her. And I want to make this video is already kind of going long, but I just want to touch on it really quick. And this is what it says. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and to find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So how do you remove the barriers? Well, what are the barriers? The barriers are simply all the judgments on yourself, all the fear, the fear surrounding whatever it is in your life that are those challenging things to you. We build barriers. I know I built barriers within myself, a lot of barriers in my heart, feeling like I was protecting myself when really all I was doing was locking myself in a prison, hiding myself away. In the beginning, it felt like I was trying to take care of myself so I wouldn't be hurt again, but really I was just hurting myself. The reality is that I was locking myself away in a prison, and it was becoming harder and harder to get out of that prison. And it wasn't until I came to a place of saying yes to myself, saying yes to Source, opening up my heart, opening up my mind, and saying, I don't know what to do. I feel this call. I feel this invitation coming to me. But, I don't have all the answers. I don't know what to do. The second thing was being honest. Like I said, being honest enough with myself to say, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this, really. If this had been something that I could overcome simply by willpower, I would have done it by now. But the weight issues and all of this has never been something that I could overcome simply by willpower. It is something. It's been a process, and it's been something that each step has led me to the next, and to the next, and to the next. And with those steps, and with those yeses, new things are being revealed to me about myself. And anyway, there's just so much, and there's so much more that I want to talk about this. But let me just say this, when whatever challenge comes to you, whatever invitation is coming to you, don't resist it and let the resistance build those barriers within you. Say yes to it. I dare you to say yes to it. Say yes to that invitation and see what starts to happen in your life. I am a walking example of, am I perfect? No, God no. Do I have all the answers? Not at all. But I am a perfect example of, how am I trying to say this? Say yes to you. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to the invitation today. Say yes to those challenges, whatever those are. You are strong enough. You are brave enough to rise to the invitation. You can overcome it. And you will overcome it. And I'm going to overcome this gym situation. Oh, man. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. You know what? There's a lot more that I want to talk about, but I think this is going to have to be a two-part video. So I think what I'm going to do is later this week. I think this week is going to be a 2-video week, and I'm going to deliver the rest of what I feel I need to share. But for now, I'm just going to say, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your support. I support you and whatever it is that you are looking to do in your life, and whatever places that you want to, whatever challenges you want to rise up to. So with that being said, you guys have an amazing Monday. Have an amazing week, and stay tuned because I will be coming back at you very, very soon. All right, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.